Yo, 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 it's your boy ZettaSlow, bringing you guys some more of the Wardens with You content. So, today was the big day. We had the UG Fest today. One of the larger events for the Wardens with You that has happened over the past decade and some time. So, today they had a live showing of the first episode of the Wardens with You. And honestly, that was really cool. But let me tell you about it. So we got dropped into it. They had an MC for the day. The guy was dressed kind of dapper. It was kind of clean. He had the little overalls with the bow tie action going on. I really dug it. So he led into what was basically a greeting from the entire Wardens with You cast. It had all the original voice actors. It had Neku's actor, it had Shiki's actor, it had Rhyme's actor, it had Beat's actor. That guy is funny. It had Joshua's actor, and it had, I believe, the producer on it. So you got to meet everybody. You got to see the faces behind your favorite voices. And yes, they kept the same voices from 14 years ago when the game first came out, except for Rhyme. So Rhyme was a newer voice actor because Rhyme didn't have voice acted lines until Kingdom Hearts. So they kept that actor. So we got all of our original voice actors for each character, so it was really cool to see everybody's face. And it's funny because once you see them and then you see their characters, like, yeah, they definitely play them. That's definitely their character. And honestly, that was probably one of the coolest things that I had seen. It's like super early in the morning, so I'm sorry if I look crazy. But yeah, so we went from meeting each and every one of them individually to then viewing the first episode. And this is why you're all here, guys, I'm sure. So this first episode, oh my goodness, as a fan, this was the biggest sigh of relief I have ever had in my life. This was the biggest, single most big sigh of relief in my entire life. I was so worried. I was like, man, they're not gonna do something right. They're gonna mess up somewhere along the line. But no, they seemed like they did a pretty good overall job. Like, so they dotted their I's and crossed their T's. They did a really good job. So the episode starts off where Neku, you know, wakes up in the underground Shibuya. So he wakes up there, and then immediately everything starts going crazy. So the noise frogs just start attacking. Shiki comes out of nowhere, and all of a sudden they're at Hachiko somehow. And they're making a pact to be partners, which is really cool. So they did a good job at that part. Like, they kept the pacing pretty good throughout. Like, so the action was very action packed. And then, okay, so as soon as we got into our first fight with them as a team, it was so cool. Mr. Mew might be the MVP of this entire series. We'll see. It still remains to be determined, but right now Mr. Mew is looking pretty dope. Also, the way that they show Neku using his psychs is really dope too. So he'll do an attack, right? But then flashing, like, kind of in behind him, it shows like what pin he used, right? It showed the pin he was using to do the specific ability. So you're like, oh, you can't call BS on it. This is exactly how those work. So like when he was using Shockwave, he kicked the noise. He was using the fire one, he used fire. When he was using lightning, he used lightning. He used the Masamune, I believe that was the pin he used, the one with the uppercut. He used that to use the uppercut to get up on top of a building. So there is scale to these fights, guys. There's scale. Like, normally in the game you only see ground level fighting. No, there's scale to these fights. They have them on top of buildings and everything. So you see a lot of dynamic action. And this is where the CG comes in, right? So a lot of the time when there's just like a ton of enemies surrounding Neku, it switches straight to CG mode, which honestly to me I thought was going to be very jarring. It's actually not. In fact, it seems kind of like what they're going to do with the new game, honestly. So it looks even less jarring than before, and I'm really excited for that now. So they went from that first fight to instantly meeting Karya and Yuzuki and Rhyme and Beat. So then they fast forward to the next day. They are on day 2. Like, so yes, this is all one episode. They're already on day 2 in this first episode. So also with this first episode, you know, they have to get to 10-4. Very simple mission. So they wanted to show a little bit more action scenes, a little bit more things going on. This is also the day where Neku attempts to like kill Shiki, right? But then you get a better understanding of why that happened, right? So before, it was just kind of up to interpretation that he wanted to, you know, kill her to save himself, which reasonable, right? He wanted to kill her to save himself. Makes sense. It's not quite just that. There's a little bit more to it than that. So he had the negative emotions surrounding him, and this is what they were projecting a lot of. They were talking about how your negative emotions will affect your battle and things like that, right? So what they kind of did was I'm sorry, I hit my mic, but they made it so that like it showed the noise was kind of like possessing Neku to do this thing, because he was already in a bad state of mind, right? So he really didn't want to do this, because that's what made it kind of out of character before. It was just like, you're just gonna kill her? I mean, I know you didn't care for her, but you're gonna kill her like that and then become a good guy later? I don't believe it as much. But no, they said, yeah, the noise was possessing him, so it wasn't like quite his idea to do something like that. It was more so the noise was persuading him to, yeah, you better do what you were gonna do, kind of deal. But then Hanekoma steps in, and boy, his entrance is just as smooth as ever. Did a good job with that. I wish I could show all the action and things I've been talking to up to this point, but out of respect for the stream and things like that, I'm gonna leave that off of here. If you want to find that, I'm sure there are ways to find it. You won't find it here. But so then, yeah, they went from that day into day 3. So not only did you get day 1 or day 2, you got 3 days in this one first episode. So I'm wondering where the pacing of this show is going to go and how far they're going to go into the action. So yeah, so on day 3, they kind of changed a lot of little story beats in the episode. So normally in this episode, you would, you know, go to A East, which is called O East on here. I don't know why it's called O East, but anyway, you go there, you'd find Tech is the guy who kind of maintains the Death March band's equipment and things like that. So yeah, you find him, and he's having an issue, a panic issue, about not being able to fix the fuse for the concert. So that is a huge part of what that day normally consists of. However, on this one, on the anime, they kind of bypassed that a little bit, and it was really weird because you wouldn't really think about it, because as someone that has never seen the show or played the game, one or two, people were talking to them for once in a while, right? For the first time in forever, people were actually talking to them, and that is wildly different than something that would normally happen, because they're basically dead, right? They're dead, they're gone. So yeah, they basically just walked straight up to Tech. I guess he was already having his issue. He was like midway through his issue kind of deal. But then they fought the noise that was on him, and then he immediately started talking to them. Like, because before you were doing a lot more influencing than talking to people directly, but then on this one you were talking directly to them. So you kind of got the sense that, oh, he's a little bit like, either he's omniscient and he sees them or something like that, or he must be possibly a Reaper, you know. These are things that you think about. So then they walk with him all the way to the concert venue, because I guess he was aware that they fixed his issue. And then 777 was there to greet them and thank them for helping him. So normally what he would give you is a Death March pin that is worth money. I'm not sure what else it does, because I haven't really like messed with that pin too much yet. I plan on it probably in the near future. If I want to max all my pins, I kind of want to do that just for myself. But yeah, instead he actually gave them a key pin, right? So a key pin, like one of the ones that like break down the barriers in the later part of the game. So I'm wondering how that's going to play out, because you're starting to see like, okay, we're going into a little bit of a branching path right here. Where is this going to take us, honestly? Because I mean, like I said, they got a level 1 key card very, very early compared to when key cards were a thing in the actual original one. Unless they were just saying it's like the unspoken rule of, you know, when the Reaper takes down the barrier. I'm not sure how they're going to use that. But anyway, So they did a great job on that. They went straight through the first three. There was not really any hitches, no plot discrepancies or anything crazy like that. I mean, you got to see Neku do a lot of fighting, you got to see Shiki do a lot of fighting, you got to see Beat do a little bit of some things. So I'm looking forward to see what they actually end up doing with Beat and his character later. But yeah, so we got through that episode. They brought us back to what was like our little greeting area with the cast. So the cast talked a little bit about how they stayed into character and things like that after 14 years. Yes, after 14 whole years of not really getting too much work. Because yeah, this series has been dormant, so this is huge to me. So thank you once again, Square Enix. Thank you so much for bringing the series back in full form. You got an anime coming out this year, you got a game coming out this year. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. All right, but yeah, so we went back to the greeting area, and then they started talking about how they stayed in the form and acting like that, and you got to see a real sense of the actors that played the characters. Now, I have not played the game in Japanese yet, probably a big mistake on my part. Not really easily available because the English version stayed in English, the Japanese version stayed in Japanese. But I appreciated what I saw, because I mean, they seemed very true to form both here and there, I guess, because it never felt like they were out of place or they were weird to me. That was a huge part. And then they said that since they've had a lot more roles since then, they've been able to recreate their scenes a little bit better, in fact. And it honestly shows, because I feel like you get to see a little bit more emotion from Neku nowadays. I mean, I'm sure he was meant to not have emotion like that in the first few parts, but you can see where he's coming from now. He seems a lot more realistic. He's not just being edgy to be edgy. So, and then Beat is also, you know, Beat is as bombastic as ever, crazy guy, and his voice actor is no exception to this rule. He'll like yell out during like everybody else talking and things like that. And then we got to Joshua's voice actor. So Joshua did not appear in this episode, as you know, because he doesn't appear till around the second week. So what he seemed like he was like really excited about what he was doing. He seemed like he was very smug too. It was kind of funny. Like he had that kind of aura about him. I'm like, you know, this guy definitely plays Joshua. And it felt like right at home, because I mean, not only was I was watching with other fans. They had a chat box going, they had Twitter going, and if you used hashtag UG Shibuya, or hashtag TWEWY, or the Wardens with You, just TWEWY, then that's like the hashtag that they're going for. So they said the UG Shibuya was only for this event. After that, they're probably retiring it. I think we're gonna probably still use it. But then the TWEWY's the normal one that we're going to continue using. So I'm looking forward to see what is ahead of now, because we're going full speed into some Wardens with You phenomenon like that I have never seen in my life. Like, I would never think I would be here telling you guys, hey guys, we're about to watch some The Wardens with You, because I never thought this was getting serialized or like published as a show and things like that. So like, once again guys, I just want to say thank you, and thank you to everyone that has watched this video. I know I'm rambling like a madman, but this is just a great moment, and it's super early in the morning. I'm tired. But so after that, they went over a little bit of the merchandise and things like they had. Outside of that, I mean, not much else happened. They were talking about the art exhibit. We will be checking that out together. I will make a separate video from this video about the art exhibit, and we will just look at that and talk about it. I mean, probably not much to talk about, but it'll just be a nice little viewing for everyone to see. I know a lot of people probably won't get to experience this till once all this is over, because a lot of people won't be fans until later. So I'd like to just have it archived here for you guys, so you guys can check it out later. But anyway guys, this has been your boy ZettaSlow, bringing you guys some great Wardens with You content, bringing you future Wardens with You content, bringing you tons more anime reviews on The World Ends With You, bringing you more, you know. It's crazy. I didn't really think it was gonna turn this way like this, because I wasn't expecting that at all. I was just expecting to do fighting games and nothing else, but then of course, you know, The World Ends With You popped up out of nowhere, so we're just rocking with it. All right, guys, so stay tuned until next time, guys. Also, before we go, do you guys like the webcam action? Because I mean, I'm just doing it for you guys. I'm trying to keep it, you know, simple, trying to keep it nice for you guys. Do you guys like the webcam? If you don't like the webcam, should I just stay video like without my face here? I just feel like it's a little bit more personal, because you get to see that I'm actually like really amped for this, and I want you to be amped for this, so we got to work with that, you know what I mean? But yeah, just let me know in the comments down below, guys, what you think. I kind of like the webcam, honestly. That's why I've been doing it for the last few. But anyway, guys, until next time, definitely stay hydrated, stay healthy, get you guys some rest, but most importantly, stay groovy, y'all. Peace.